In the early hours of March 18, 1990, a heist occurred that would become one of the most infamous in American history. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston, Massachusetts, a treasure trove of art and culture, became the target of a meticulously planned theft that would leave the art world reeling. The museum, known for its stunning architecture and extensive collection, housed works by masters like Vermeer, Rembrandt, and Degas. Little did anyone know that in a matter of hours, several of these masterpieces would vanish without a trace. The museum's security system was considered state-of-the-art for its time, featuring alarms, motion detectors, and even video surveillance. However, the criminals were undeterred. Disguised as police officers responding to a disturbance, they gained access to the museum by convincing the night security guards to let them in. With a deftness that belied their violent intentions, the thieves subdued the guards, tying them up in the museum's basement. The scene was set for a heist that would shock the nation. Once inside, the thieves set to work quickly. They had clearly done their homework, moving with precision to identify the most valuable pieces. Among the works taken were Vermeer's The Concert, one of only 34 paintings by the Dutch master, and a Rembrandt self-portrait valued at over $100 million. In less than 81 minutes, the thieves made off with 13 pieces of art worth an estimated $500 million, the largest value of stolen art in history. When the museum opened its doors later that day, the full extent of the heist was realized. The shockwave reverberated through the art community and law enforcement. The museum's director, Anne Hawley, stood in disbelief as she surveyed the empty walls where once hung priceless masterpieces. It felt like a personal loss, she later recalled, a sentiment shared by everyone associated with the museum. The investigation began immediately, spearheaded by the FBI and Boston police. They launched a task force dedicated solely to the heist, enlisting the help of art experts and forensic specialists. The initial response was chaotic. Investigators sifted through the museum for clues while the media descended upon Boston, eager for details of the audacious crime. Detectives soon turned their attention to the security footage from the night of the heist. Although the cameras captured the intruders, the images were grainy and unclear. Nevertheless, investigators noted crucial details, such as the distinctive way the thieves handled the artwork and their calm demeanor. The footage showed the thieves' faces, but they wore masks, obscuring their identities. The police began to piece together a timeline, identifying the thieves as professionals with experience in art theft. As the investigation progressed, leads began to emerge. Witnesses reported seeing suspicious vehicles parked near the museum on the night of the theft. Some even recalled hearing unusual noises, but nothing concrete materialized. The FBI and local police were determined not to let this crime go unsolved. They began reaching out to known criminals, hoping to gather information about potential suspects. One name that repeatedly surfaced was that of Carmen Romano, a known mobster with ties to the New England Mafia. Romano had a reputation for involvement in various criminal enterprises, including art theft. Detectives believed he might have insider knowledge about the heist, or could even be connected to the thieves themselves. However, gathering solid evidence proved challenging. Mobsters were notoriously tight-lipped, and proving their involvement in a high-profile crime like this would be difficult. Months turned into years, and the investigation continued to evolve. The task force pursued countless leads, but most led to dead ends. As time passed, the trail grew colder, and frustration set in. The FBI published a composite sketch of one of the thieves based on witness descriptions, hoping someone would recognize him. They also released a list of the stolen artwork, offering a reward of $5 million for information leading to the recovery of the pieces. Despite the challenges, the FBI remained vigilant. They used every resource at their disposal, including art historians who could help authenticate stolen pieces if they ever surfaced. The art world became increasingly aware of the heist, and rumors began circulating about the stolen works. Some speculated they might appear on the black market, while others believed they could be hidden away by the thieves, waiting for the heat to die down. In 2003, a breakthrough occurred when a former mobster named Robert Gentile was arrested on unrelated charges. During his interrogation, he began to talk about the Gardner heist, claiming to have information about the stolen artwork. Gentile alleged that he had been approached by Romano to help facilitate the sale of the pieces. Although his claims were not entirely credible, they reignited interest in the case. As investigators probed Gentile's claims, they discovered links between him and other known mobsters in the area. They also learned that Romano had died several years earlier, leaving a murky trail of connections. The task force followed these leads, but they struggled to find solid evidence to corroborate Gentile's story. The lack of reliable witnesses and the secretive nature of the criminal underworld made it difficult to build a case. Years passed, and the case began to fade from the headlines, but the investigation was far from over. The FBI continued to follow leads, remaining hopeful that one day the stolen artwork would surface. In 2015, a new director took over the Gardner Museum, bringing fresh energy to the case. The museum renewed its commitment to recovering the stolen pieces, even launching a new campaign that emphasized the importance of public awareness. As the anniversary of the heist approached, the museum hosted a special event, inviting the community to come together and reflect on the loss of the artwork. The event reignited interest in the case, and for a brief moment, the heist was back in the spotlight. The FBI used the opportunity to remind the public of the ongoing investigation, urging anyone with information to come forward. Despite the renewed efforts, the case remained cold. Then, in 2020, a former mob associate named William "Billy" Walters was arrested for drug charges. During his time in custody, Walters reportedly began to boast about his involvement in the Gardner heist. Law enforcement took notice, and investigators began to look into his claims, hoping that they might finally crack the case. In the months that followed, the FBI gathered intelligence on Walters and his connections to other mobsters in the area. They learned that he had indeed been involved in the heist, though his precise role was still unclear. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered a network of criminals who had allegedly handled the stolen artwork. However, just as the investigation was gaining momentum, tragedy struck. Walters died in prison under suspicious circumstances, raising questions about whether he had been silenced to protect the secrets surrounding the heist. The case took another turn, and investigators were left grappling with the loss of a potential key witness. Despite these setbacks, the FBI remained undeterred. They continued to follow leads, hoping to uncover the truth behind the heist that had captivated the nation for decades. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum kept the memory of the stolen pieces alive, hosting events and educational programs to raise awareness about the art world and the importance of preserving culture. As of today, the case remains officially unsolved, and the whereabouts of the stolen artwork are still unknown. The heist at the Gardner Museum is a chilling reminder of how easily treasures of art and culture can vanish and how difficult it can be to recover them. The museum's empty frames serve as a testament to the loss, echoing the sentiments of a community that still hopes for a resolution.